My mom's mom came here with my grandfather. Well, they came during the Mexican Revolution when all of that was going on. They came here and they were farm workers. They settled in the town of Brawley, California. And my mom was born there. And then when the Mexican Revolution was kind of over, my grandfather wanted to go back to Mexico, and my grandmother didn't want to go back. So I come from a line of really strong women. My grandmother said, "No, I'm going to stay here with my daughter because this is a better place." My grandmother and my mother were both gardeners. Both of them taught me a lot. My grandmother would pot up little things, and she would have them for sale outside of her fence. And, people would come by. And she had mostly cactuses and things like that. My mom often took us to gardens. We planted a rose for her and buried her ashes under it. And I always sense her presence here, It was just an acre with just blackberries and had no trees because it had just been pastured, and had a few Douglas firs on it, around it, but we just started planting. You can kind of get lost in time, and I just enjoy the 4 seasons of the garden, looking out the window and seeing it change over the 4 seasons. We're fortunate here in Oregon to have the 4 seasons. There's always something that needs to be done in the garden. I think being in the garden is really spiritual. The awakening in spring, seeing things come back. You're happy to see little things come back. That after the winter sleep, then you see things come back. It's always fun to see that. I wasn't very fond of that ice storm that we got. We've never had an ice storm like that. And to hear that cracking of the trees, and it sounded like glass breaking, that was just so eerie. And then to wake up and see all the branches of trees that we'd had we probably had them around for 40 years, and to see them all broken and gone, we had to just get rid of all of those trees that were damaged. I was glad that Roger wasn't here because it was stuff that he planted, and I knew that he'd be really sad because he always enjoyed his trees, and he had planted so many trees, but it was time for them to go too. Everything has a new life. It just opened up the garden. It opened up my yard to new possibilities, I guess. I've never lived alone. I married at 18 and went from my home to a home with Roger. And so it's been really nice to just be alone and know that any decisions that I make are mine, and I have enjoyed that. The only thing was the ice storm, and even that I was surprised how well I went through that, and making the decision of hiring somebody to get rid of all of that, and it was easier than I thought it would be. And the garden was reassuring. Things came back, and it was nice to be here.
Did you know that it was going to be like that?
No, I didn't, and it's been good.
I wish like every woman could have big periods of their life where they could be alone without having to make that about leaving a man.
Yeah. I know. And I wish that it didn't happen when they were 70, you know. I wish it could be earlier, or for sure. I've always thought that if Roger wasn't here, I would leave immediately and sell the house. And so having COVID made me appreciate this even more, you know, to just be here and settle in and enjoy it. It's wonderful. I've liked it a lot. I feel good living here. And I like being alone. I've just kind of rested in that. It's been really nice.
What made you want to start krump dancing?
So I watched the movie Rise and it captivated me. I definitely wanted to learn more about krump, wanted to do it, but it's almost like it chose me at that point.
How old were you?
So this was a high school age, like 10th grade, maybe 11th.
I was 22 and working at a youth camp. There was a talent show that happened. 5 guys got up there and started moving like in a way that I'd never seen before. I Googled it, I looked it up, and I came across D.I.Y, who is the guy who started it. I love weightlifting, but I was looking for something like aggressive and like strong. And like when I would hear music, I would want to move to it, and I just didn't know how. Like I could be in the mosh pit and like pushing people and jumping, but when I found krump, it was like articulating that feeling and focusing it, even putting on a character, that it let me go somewhere, and somewhere where I still want to go, at least emotionally, physically, and then also spiritually. I was never interested in dance until I was going through counseling when I was 22, and I actually started getting to know that God was real around that same time. And that's where I started to find an interest in dance. I was always very disconnected from like my physical body and even my feelings. So when I saw Tie-Dye's move and I saw that I could be powerful and I could feel, that's what drew me into it. And I think God kind of like opened that spot in my heart. That was always there, but I just wasn't aware of it.
How long have you guys been friends?
So 5.5 years or so.
Yeah.
I always keep krump kind of sacred, so there's always a reluctancy to just get out there and krump. It's different than other styles of dance because you're saying something.
Sometimes when I go to a party, they're like, hey, like do your moves and stuff. And it's like, it's there, but it's not the real thing. It's something more. There's like actual substance behind what I'm doing. I took a workshop from Tie-Dye's, and one of the things that I took away was, he says these moves that we do, he's like, it's real. It's real. Like I throw this, I'm going to move because it's coming back.
I don't mind sharing it. If they want the real thing, you got to go to a session or go to a battle.
Well, what's a battle?
Sessions, everybody just kind of goes in after another and you're dancing to a song and you're building off each other's energy. A battle is more intentional and more focused against the other person to win.
It's super powerful because the communication's so deep. People can feel it.
One major element too about krump is character and attitude, and I think that's a major focus. And I think that's Jeff talks about he can be himself, and I could be more of myself. To me, it's about exploring and being that part of me that I'm able to express, and nobody can tell me what I can or can't be, or what I can and can't do. And my name Predator comes from that. Always in pursuit of something. I was born in a rough situation, and I haven't had a ton of control of my life, so I'm always in pursuit I'm like a hunter. I'm always having confrontations with different things myself a lot.
Well, how about you, Jeff? What's your name?
My big homie, his name's Simeon. Simeon means miracle of God.
Mm.
And so he actually gets called Simeon more than his real name, which is Chris. And I think it's really funny. So, like the name he gave me when I joined the fam was Soldier Simeon, which meant a lot to me. He's like, you battle like a soldier, and you represent Jesus. I love it because I feel like a warrior. Many years I didn't feel like I was strong or like I was powerful, and those are the things that actually come out when I'm in krump, and I get to feel like I'm a warrior, and I get to express strength and power and learn how to do it more and more. I danced with Jess at an event. We were at like this revival thing. I had a little slot, and so I went up and I danced full out, like with my heart. And she came up to me afterwards and she said, I've never seen this, but I saw principalities like of lust, of rape, of prostitution, of all these things that are kind of like the murkier, dark issues that like are under the surface and in people's lives. And she's like, I saw those things start falling. And so in my own heart, and even because of my experience like with trauma as a kid, those are the things that I like would desire to see God move through in my dancing.
The first time I had an encounter, we had been invited to dance over this group of people who needed, felt like they needed a blessing or whatever, who were just going through stuff. Seeing stuff in people's backs, I was a betrayal and pulling them out, And so when I'm dancing, I can do that. I can open, and pull something out, and I can throw it away. And so, I was doing that over people, and people were reacting. That's what really first awakened me to the spiritual side. Like, I knew there was like a spiritual side of dance. Obviously, warriors dance for years. That's the other thing too, with the link between warriors and dancing. There's a link between being a warrior and fighting, and rhythm of battle, and rhythm of dance, knowing your situation and time and movement and space. Mostly what I get from dance as a general sense is it inspires freedom. Even people who say they don't like dance or they don't want to dance, if they're watching enough and you watch them, they'll try and do something, a little movement or something.
I'm excited to see what can happen like in the presence of God in worship, almost as if they're like there's like secrets to be unlocked, like truths that can be found in the midst of that. Oh, this is a real thing. Oh, we stumbled upon this and now it's something we do. So I'm excited to see where it can go.
My name is Vania Vananina. I was born in the late 80s in a small coastal city in northern Mexico. These are glimpses into parts of my life. Please handle them with care. As the time passes, I realize that the more witnesses I have, the more real my feelings are. I make art to make sense of the world. I make art because it makes me happy. It inspires me to keep exploring a new material or a new forest. I often think about the meaning of life. Why am I here? What's the point of it all? What difference does it make of me being here or not being here? If I cease to exist, would the world notice? What could be my impact if I make art that makes me happy and share it with the world, or if I kept everything inside of me? All of my experiences tightly wrapped and drenched in golden nectar. My loves, my sorrow, my joy. some things I question myself while making art are when somebody shares make and describe to use them, their pain, to gift their confusion, to wear proudly as badges of belonging, their rage, to sell them so their other people can admiration. Do all of the above, their needs and feelings. When people do those things, they help you see through their wounds, through their eyes, through their skin, through their heart. What is it about feeling seen that makes us feel alive? That makes our eyes sparkle and our souls light up? We connect. We exist. We are real. We are here. We make a connection, a bond, a bridge, a sanctuary of ease. We are safe to be, to exist. Another soul is witnessing our experience. This part of the journey is being documented in the universe's memory. And we carry those encounters in our internal cabinets. Those experiences, the bundles of sensations. How do you capture the sadness? How do you capture grief, sorrow, deep loss? I don't know. I just try to do my best to feel it all, go through it, and come on the other side. Focus on the joyful moments or joyful things. Even when the skies are gray, there's funerals happening, goodbyes, trouble and hardships that a lot of people might not see or know of. As Ram Dass said, we are all just walking each other home. Be gentle with your soul and with others. We never know what people are going through. And in this digital era of social media, it's hard. I am here. I see you. I hear you. I love you. Thank you for being here with me.
I got into real estate through a divorce. When you see people suffering and in pain, like, it tugs at your heart. You know, it just makes you feel like, okay, this person needs a little bit more attention and a little bit more love and guidance than what this person needs. And so you signify that. A lot of people need that hand holding and guidance and, you know, schooling when it comes to the biggest purchase of their life. Because at the end of the day, it's an emotional transaction. It's not all business and all financial, it's emotional. I've sold so many properties to young couples that just got married and wanted to start a new beginning, a new chapter in their life, and then they call me up, you know, a couple of years later, and they're like, didn't work out, you know, and we're separating, and we're divorcing. The divorce is already in motion. And guide me. And I get them all on a conference call. You know, like, let's talk about this. How do you feel? Like, what's going on? What do you want out of this? What do you want out of it? You know? And you're mostly, I mean, I am a real estate agent by profession, but I tend to see myself more of a, you know, just kind of giving people equilibrium in their lives, in a sense.
It's my first house to buy by myself, but my husband and I had bought homes before. I've been really pleased in the whole process. You know, she's awesome, and so I couldn't be happier to have Sarah. She's just real genuine, and I feel very comfortable with her. You know, just feels like family almost. You know, I feel very comfortable telling her and complaining to her if I don't like something, and she does very well, which is what I needed, because I am by myself this time, so it makes a difference. It's very nice.
You've been busy today, Adrian?
We have, yeah. I was really busy. So, yeah.
I didn't even realize it was an open house today.
No?
Mm-mm. I do my own thing, Adrian.
I know, right? I see that, yeah.
But have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Any questions about anything? Anything I can answer for you?
No, honestly, I mean, she lived in this neighborhood before, and she just sold her
so
house. So
yeah, so you're familiar with the
And
neighborhood
it's
and
just
everything
me,
else.
so I don't need something as large. It's
For
just,
sure.
Yeah.
It's just,
For sure.
but it is a lovely home.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reach out. Any
Take
questions?
care.
Okay.
Hi, Marie.
Yeah, hey, I've just got a quick question.
Sure.
Do I have time to go get a bite to eat real quick and then come back to the house?
Absolutely, honey.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if you'd be trying to
No.
send me anything.
No. You take your time, you know. I'm just waiting on the agent to call me back. And meanwhile, while she does that, I'm going to go ahead and start up the offer and have everything ready. But I need to have a conversation with her before I send you anything. And I will text you when I send you the email so that, you know.
Okay.
And
okay.
it's really just, go eat, girl. Like, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
And thank you, honey.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. All of the boxes are checked on our end. I wanted to go ahead and speak with you before I wrote up the offer so that I can make sure that I'm addressing everything that your seller's needs are, and I'm sure you have other offers, so.
Come in as strong as you can. That's all I can say. I wish I didn't have to say that, but couple others are, you know, they're higher than what you said so far.
So if I go another 5 over, do you think it would make us a contender at all, or are we talking about above and beyond?
It's above.
10?
Yeah. Yeah. You're getting in the ballpark.
I can't tell you how many people I know that cannot purchase a home. Specifically, Texas and Arizona are being gentrified, where the locals aren't able to afford homes or they've lived all their lives anymore. If you look at the last 5 years of growth as return on investment on an annual basis in different cities in the North Texas area, it's been between 2.5% and 3.5%. It jumped up to 5.5, 6 within the last 6-8 months. How can somebody afford an inflation of 6%? They can't afford it. I have it almost all ready to go, so expect to receive the email within the next 15 minutes. And that's it. We'll shoot it over.
And I just look it over and then sign it and shoot it back to you, right?
Right, and I have your proof of funds from the previous offer that we placed, so I'm going to attach that. And I'm going to attach a paragraph about you and the reason you want to move into this house and all of that good stuff, and we should be good to go.
Oh, good. Awesome. That sounds awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
You're very welcome, Marie.
We'll see how it goes. Okay,
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I think a lot of them come up here in hopes of finding gold, not really knowing what they're doing. They try it. It's not like you're going to find it right off the bat. And I think they're disappointed, and then they move on to something else. But you got to be persistent in trying to find the gold. There's hundreds of mines up here. There used to be a sign, Quartzville. Well, they mined up here in the late 1800s. What I want to know is, how did they go find the gold? I know they followed the river and they panned and kept going to see where the gold stopped, and then they would come back and find the richest part, the mine. I want to know how they got from the town site to the mine. Did they ride horses? Because it's not close. Or did they take, like I say, the train, if there was a train, to haul the ore out, or mules? I don't know. It's pretty neat. A lot of history, like I say, up here. I've always been curious. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what made me go this route. I come up here alone one time to camp, and I ran into an elderly lady with a motorhome, and we got to talking, and she was telling me how she used to pan up in Alaska and that. And she said, and there's a lot of gold out here. Really? She taught me how to pan. She was an alcoholic, but she knew what she was doing, and started out pulling moss off the rocks, like the big boulders across the river. You take the moss off, there's gold stuck in there, because it just, I don't know, it gets trapped in the moss. And I started there scraping moss and used a toothbrush and a teaspoon, I thought I was really doing it. I found a little flake and I was hooked. I had to keep going. It kept coming up and coming up. there in a jar, a little glass jar. I got them locked up, but I don't know why. It just reminds me how much work it took and how much fuel and gas to get up here, and it's worth it. Company, and just, I don't know, getting away, and I just enjoy coming up here because it's so pretty, quiet at night. You can actually see the stars. No light pollution, peaceful. Sure ain't no traffic. Maybe that's the way I'm feeling now. I don't want to be married again. I'm really enjoying doing what I do. Take off, don't have to check in. I still do have to check in. I got a call when I leave here, when I get down to cell service. Okay, I'm out of the woods. I'm okay. They worry about me.
It's nice to know that if you did go missing, someone would call to find your body.
That's why I carry a wallet, identification. Just cremated, and I don't care. Throw them in the garbage can or something. Ocean, I really like to be disposed of in the ocean. And I love the water, but I love it up here. This is just gorgeous country up here. I don't know where else you can go to find a more beautiful spot. So mice like to stay close to something. They like to follow the edge. So that's why they come under here, come up the ramp, and try to jump on the can for the peanut butter. Can spins, they fall in the water, they drowned. Simple.